Now, computers were extremely large, often taking up the entire rooms, although you can legitimately trace the history of today's digital computers back 100 years or more. Now, practical designs were used by significant numbers of people until the late 1950s. And scientists programmed these computers to perform precise tasks. The operating systems were rudimentary, often, but not able to do more than read punch cards or tape and write output to the teletype machines. The tape or deck of cards was loaded and a button was pushed on a machine to indicate the input was ready. And the machine started to read the tape and perform the operations requested. If all went well, the work was done and the output was generated. And this output would be sent to the teletype, and that was that. Yes, there was computer history before this point, but it did not involve any sort of operating system. Any program that the computer ran had to include all logic to control the computer. Because this logic was rather complex, and not all scientists were computer scientists, the operating system was a tool that allowed non computer scientists to use computers. So the OS reduced programming work and increased efficiency. So obviously, there was not all that much to operate. That's mainly the punch card and the punch tape readers for input and the teletype printer for output. There also was not that much to operate with. Memory capacity was very limited, and the processing speed of the computer was slow by our standards, but fast for that time. And it took only few decades for computer applications to evolve to appeal to a broader audience. Although computers, um, the art in operating systems design, therefore, largely was to keep them very small and efficient. And that time, computers of the late 60s and early 70s were crude by today's standards, and they were quite capable and handled extremely complex. I mean, the complex tasks. And these computers contributed to the development of the space travel, the submarine-based ballistic missiles, and a growing global financial community. And computers for this time used only a few kilobytes of RAM and the rudimentary storage of only a few megabytes. So this period also saw the beginning of a global computer-based communication system called the Internet. So applications became logically more complex, requiring larger programs and large amounts of data. As always, necessity was the mother of invention. The input and output devices were created, and computer memory capacity and speed increased. With more devices to manage, operating systems became more complex and extensive, but the rule of thumb, small and fast, was still extremely important. So this round of evolution, which really began to take off on the mid 70s. That is um, with the teletype machine with a keyboard that did not print on paper but projected letters on screen, commonly referred to as the CRT or the cathode ray tube. Initial CRT was later followed by a terminal that could also show simple graphics. And the terminal looked like a the early computer, but it was only a monitor and keyboard without a CPU for the processing capability. So the magnetic tape drive used to store and retrieve data and programs on tape. And the next evolution was the ability to share computer resources among the computer programs. Now, if a computer was very fast and could quickly switch among various programs,